Good afternoon. This is my presentation on the learning theories for N582. This is my second time through this class. I had to drop out of it before. So I took this class before, and when I did this assignment, I was told that I did it wrong. So I don't know if this is the exact way that you want it done or not. So what you're going to see is that I have some stuff on some slides for the presentation as well. So um, since this is just a little intro, I just wanted to talk to you first, and then I will get into the presentation. So it's on learning theory integration. There are different um, learning theories that patients and students may use when they are learning something new. Um, According to Stilby 2019, there are 5 main learning strategies. They are the behavioralist, cognitive, social, psychodynamic, and the humanistic. This discussion will look at the major theories on how they can increase a behavior as well as how they decrease or extinguish a behavior, how you can combine the different theories to change a behavior, and lastly, we'll discuss 3 scenarios and how different theories can affect the outcomes. So, Vasilby 2019 further explains that there are contingencies that will increase or decrease a response. These contingencies will help positive reinforcement, reward, and use of negative reinforcement, as well as escape and avoidance conditioning. So the conditions, excuse me, the con, I always have problems with this. The contingencies that will extinguish a behavior is non-reinforcement and punishment. So we'll begin by looking at the different theories. The first one is the behavioralist. This theory relies on the learner's directly observing a behavior and looking at the stimulus and the response to determine if the reward is good or not. The main driver of this is motivation. To get the learner to increase the behavior, the stimulus is increased positively and we'll end up seeing a better response, according to Basilby 2019. So pretty much if you increase the good behavior or increase the good reward, they will get a better response. The second learning theory is the cognitive. This relies on learners' goals and expectations and not relying on the rewards. So this is more looking at the mind side of the patient and how changing the behavior will help them more at a thinking level. This is more of a passive learning. When trying to change behaviors, it is educating the learners to change behavior by changing the goals and expectations. The third one, or the third theory, is a social theory. It is exactly what it sounds like. It is the use of role models where the learner will look up to somebody and will want to follow the behavior. This is like using your nurse practitioner, or not nurse practitioners, your nurse preceptors. If you have somebody that has a very strong work ethic and you're trying to get somebody to follow those behaviors and have them look up to somebody. Excuse me. The fourth one is the psychodynamic theory. This theory is another passive learning as it goes more at the emotional level of the learner. This can both be conscious and unconscious. Um, it It helps provide motivation to change the behaviors. And the last theory is the humanist. This theory states that everyone is unique and everyone has their own desires to learn and to grow on their own. So it's looking at everybody is different, everyone's unique, just like our learning theories can be unique to each person. So just as the learning theories can help increase a behavior, the learning theories can also decrease or extinguish the behavior as well. When working with behavioralist theory, the patient is given a negative stimulation, causing a new reaction or reward, and causes the change in the behavior. The cognitive theory is very similar except for its use of rewards. Social learning again uses role models to change the behavior. That my computer decided to go crazy on me all of a sudden. So, um, so like I was stating that just as the behavior is going to increase the behavior, you can also decrease the behavior. So, talking about the behavioralist, when it's given a negative stimulation, a new reaction and reward, the cause can change the behavior. The cognitive theory is very similar, except for it's not using the reward. You're changing their goals and expectation. Um, just like with the social learning, if you have somebody that you want to um, decrease the behavior, you have somebody showing that the behavior is decreased. And the psychodynamic, you just push negative emotions to get the behavior to stop. And then again, the humanist uses the desire to change behavior. All right, so the theories can be combined to help the learners learn material better. Bistilby state in 2019 states that behavioral theory can easily be combined with cognitive theory. This is done by adding more thought and reflection into the learning. So you're still using the reward, but then you're adding the thought and reflection to try to get them to use their own goals as well as so their goals as well as can't remember what I'm saying. The goals and expectations, excuse me. So that's one way that you can combine the theories. Um, Another good combination would be the behavioralist and the social learning, because the learner sees the stimulus and the reaction on the role model, and then is able to use the change of the behavior. So again, it's the learner is seeing that the role model is getting rewarded, so they want to get rewarded. So it's kind of the peer seeing another peer get something. So, okay. All right, so next we'll look at the different scenarios. The first one is the orientee having difficulty with the idea of titrating dosage on a and physiological data. This this orientee may be having problems with cognitive learning. For this one, uh, some of the best things to do with them would be to discuss with the orientee what the issue is. Is it something that they're having problems with just the basic, okay, I'm not understanding this? Do they need to have like a tutor, somebody that can role model for them? Or is it that they just are not understanding that they don't see the reward? It can be multiple different things. I kind of took this a little bit differently, and I looked more at things that I would do with the patient or with the orientee. One of the first things is I would look at the way the calculations are being presented. This also can get applied more into what type of learner they are. Are they more of a visual and auditory or kinetic learner? The second scenario presented is a nursing student that is failing. When approaching the scenario in the self-efficiency theory, I would discuss with the student how they feel that they are being self-efficient and look at what the student can do to be able to pass the class. Um, Whereas the attribution theory looks more at the cause and effect of their own behaviors, the student may look at the behaviors and blame the effects on others. So the last scenario looks at the social cognitive theory, helping the precepting of a new staff member. So this theory is good to be pushed because it looks at the social and cultural context in the area. This can be helpful with the precepting. By the preceptee may have the social and context already. So if it's somebody that already knows the areas and with culture and everything, it will help keep the learner on the same page. So in conclusion, there are different learning styles that affect how everyone learns. What works for one may not work for everyone. As educators, we need to be able to um, adapt through different learning theories and help students or patients understand what we are teaching them. We also need to realize that each theory has its own advantages and disadvantages for increasing and decreasing behaviors. And then lastly, just wanted to brief that this discussion did briefly address the different learning theories at the beginning with their main components. So looking at the behavioralist, the cognitive, the social, the psychodynamic, the humanistic, different theories. Thank you.